kunja vihari. Bijana vallabha girivaradhari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Kṛṣṇa Hare Kṛṣṇa 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇa Hare Kṛṣṇa 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Gauda Nitai, Gauda Nitai, Gauda Nitai, Jaya Gauda Nitai, Kṛṣṇa Balaram, Jaya Kṛṣṇa Balaram. Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Shyam, Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Shyam. Jai Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Shyama Sundar Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you could turn it down a little bit. I'm a loud talker. Huh? I'll shut that off then. Huh? You need both microphones? Okay, keep it for emergency. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10. Text number 34. This is the opulence of the absolute. Mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham, udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām, kīrtiḥ śrīr nārīṇāṁ, smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā. Mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham, udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām, kīrtiḥ śrīr nārīṇāṁ, smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā. Mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham, udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām, kīrtiḥ śrīr nārīṇāṁ, smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā. Mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham, udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām, kīrtiḥ śrīr nārīṇāṁ, smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā. Mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham, udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām, kīrtiḥ śrīr nārīṇāṁ, smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām kṛtiḥ nārīṇāṁ smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham kṛtiḥ nārīṇāṁ medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām kṛtiḥ nārīṇāṁ smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā. Anyone else? Mṛtyuḥ, death. Together. Sarva-haraś, all-devouring. Cha, also. Aham, I, or I am. Udbhavaḥ, generation. Cha, also. Bhaviṣyatām, of future manifestations. Kīrtiḥ, fame. Śrīr, opulence or beauty. Vak, fine speech. Cha, also. Nārīṇāṁ, of women. Smṛtir, memory. Medhā, intelligence. Dhṛtiḥ, firmness. Kṣamā, patience. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I am all-devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Repeat after me. I am all-devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Srila Prabhupada's purport. As soon as a man is born, I'm just reading it. As soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus, death is devouring every living entity at every moment. But the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Kṛṣṇa. As for future development, all living entities undergo 6 basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, and finally they vanish. Of these changes, the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Kṛṣṇa. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. The 7 opulences listed fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience are considered feminine. If a person possesses all of them or some of them, he becomes glorious. If a man is famous as a righteous man, that makes him glorious. Sanskrit is a perfect language, is therefore very glorious. If after studying one can remember a subject matter, he is gifted with a good memory, or smṛtir, and the ability not only to read many books on different subject matters, but to understand them and apply them when necessary is intelligence, medhā, another opulence. The ability to overcome unsteadiness is called firmness or steadfastness, dhṛtiḥ. And when one is fully qualified, yet is humble and gentle, and when one is able to keep his balance both in sorrow and the ecstasy of joy, he has the opulence called patience, kṣamā. Om jnana-timirandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam jena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyacha Deshatarane. So we're fortunate to be in Sri Vrindavan Dham hearing Kṛṣṇa speaking to Arjuna about himself and about the most important aspect of life, because everyone has fear of death. Everyone is fearful. What will happen? Where will I go? Those who are not fortunate enough to have a spiritual master or connection with the Guru Parampara, all we can do is speculate. Oh, there is no God. Everything happened by chance. You know, we just happened to take birth from my mother and father, and here I am existing, and this world is meaningless. Everything else is void and vacant, especially all the the moon mission, the Mars mission, because with scientific research, we have imperfect senses, we make mistakes, we have a tendency to be illusioned, and we have a cheating propensity. So Kṛṣṇa is very clearly distinguishing that beyond this gross material body, which is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, nose, ears, lips, skin, eyes, legs, hands. This is a machine. The body is a very complex machine. Everything is there. The nails, the hair. Some people have hair. The hair is there. And we can breathe, we smell, we see, we taste, we're hearing, we're feeling. Every part of our body is conscious. There's something permeating this entire existence. So naturally, any person who's a little bit introspective, he starts contemplating, well, where did I come from? By chance, mother and father, or two living beings, male and female, got together, and somehow or other, I was born in a particular family with a particular understanding of my background and heritage. So it's quite wonderful and greatly fortunate for us to be able to hear Kṛṣṇa speaking not only Krishna speaking, but also the pure devotees. Just some verses prior to this, Arjuna, after seeing the universal form of the Lord, after experiencing the magnitude of Kṛṣṇa, he says, Parang Brahma, Parang Dhamma, Pavitrang, Paramang Bhavang, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Dev, Majam Vibhum. You're the Supreme Lord, the Supreme living being, basically the cause of all causes. All the great sages, Devala, Asita, Narada, Vyas, all the great teachers and acharyas have declared this. So Kṛṣṇa is revealing this knowledge to Arjuna because he's his eternal associate, and Arjuna took the role of being put on the bodily platform, having so much concern of family, so much concern of what is acceptable in society, that I don't want to be engaged in this war, this battle, because it'll cause so much trouble. I'll be causing sinful activities. So it's difficult to understand the activities of Kṛṣṇa. We were reading this morning how Kṛṣṇa is performing wonderful activities. So those who are non-devotees, those who are mental speculators, or interested simply in gratifying their senses, karmis, karmina daiva nitrena, that we're all getting the results of our activities. You know, in the history, all we see is struggle, fighting, war, so many philosophers, so many theologians, so many professors of so many subject matters. But what is the essence? Prabhupada was at Boston University of Technology and Sciences. So what are the sciences taught, and what are the technologies and all the educational teachings at the university? How to basically manipulate material energy in such a way that you can, gain some wealth or gain some respectability, try to help people on the physical platform. But what's described here is that one is born, he grows, he produces byproducts, he dwindles, and he dies. Everybody dies, as sure as death. We know it, but still, in our mind, even if we're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, 90 years old, yes, death is coming, it's okay. I've lived a good life. I have some, even my mother was saying, oh, I'm 91, now it's so hard, and whenever the Lord takes me, takes me. So we can be so-called renounced or feel that I'm not afraid of death, but our attachments are very strong because we're eternal. We have our place in the spiritual world, in the kingdom of God, in Goloka Vrindavan, Vaikuntha Loka, either as a friend of Kṛṣṇa, as a parent of Kṛṣṇa, or even as a lover of Kṛṣṇa. And that love, which is the center of all relationships in this world, everyone's looking for love. Boys looking for girl, girls looking for boy. And that mutual exchange of love is a reflection of what goes on in the spiritual world. Kṛṣṇa and the cowherd boys, they're playing, they're having good time, they're experiencing unlimited pleasure and happiness because this is our natural position. Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna's eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. We are also eternal. We're not, when this body is finished, we're not finished. So human life, there's no dogs, there's no animals. There are flies and mosquitoes, but they're not really listening. They're just looking for a little bit of nectar from the body. But in the human form of life is the opportunity that we have to not only follow in a traditional way religious principles. There's artha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. People go to church, oh God, please protect me, protect my family, please give me wealth, give me health, you know, let me, many prayers are there, praying to the Lord as the order supplier or protector, not really understanding or knowing who is God, who is Kṛṣṇa. But Kṛṣṇa is revealing himself. Of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Of mountains, I am Mount Meru. Because anything great, everything wonderful in this world, like the sun, the brilliant sun is the eye of Kṛṣṇa, the moon. So it may not be easy to understand how Kṛṣṇa is the taste in water, smell the flower, that beautiful smell of the rose flower is Kṛṣṇa. And by the process which is being given by Kṛṣṇa and really focused by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very kind, well, at least I think that one day a Brahma, Kṛṣṇa appears, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears, and what about all the generations and all the people that were born and grew and dwindled and died, and what kind of chance did they have for stopping this vicious cycle of birth and death, this samsara? We're singing every morning to the spiritual master, samsara dava nalalita loka, that what's our real problem in life? Oh, I need money, or you know, I need good health, I need friends who really care about me, or I need so many sentimental ideas. But the real problem is that we're going to grow old, we're going to get diseased, and we're going to die. And then it doesn't end. Okay, so I die. You may come back as a dog. Oh, it doesn't matter, I can be a dog. But we don't know the pain and suffering involved in the cycle of birth and death. So the Vedic literature, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the Vedas and Puranas are given by Kṛṣṇa so that human beings can know how to live their lives according to our desires. Kṛṣṇa's manifesting us, just like Kṛṣṇa's, all the eternal associates of the Lord are emanating from Kṛṣṇa. But Kṛṣṇa is so powerful that he can make an eternal living being from himself and give him independence, so that there's some reciprocation of love. It's not a stereotype that, oh, I'm a robot, I love you, I love you, I love you. Amazing that Kṛṣṇa can, he has a relationship with Srimati Radharani, and Srimati Radharani loves Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa loves Srimati Radharani. Lord Baladev is Kṛṣṇa himself in a different mood, but a different individual, a different personality. So all the different expansions of Kṛṣṇa are different personalities with different finite moods. In the Vaikuntha planets, unlimited Vaikuntha planets, there's living entities that have attraction to the Lord in certain different capacities. You know, we're all individuals. If you look at all the faces, we all have ears, eyes, nose, mouth, but everyone has a unique, distinctive look in appearance. Millions of people, billions of people, and you can recognize, oh, there's Madhvacharya, and there's this one and that one, you know. So Kṛṣṇa has that power. But somehow we've come to this material world. We can't intellectualize it or speculate, well, why and how. You know, there's Nitya-siddhas, there's those eternal living entities who are with Kṛṣṇa, always in happiness, no chance of falling down. But there's all varieties. Kṛṣṇa is like that. He's unlimitedly powerful, that he can give independence and create beings of all magnitudes. And all of us are prisoners in this material world. Durga Ma, Lord Shiva, the demigods. In the prison house, there's prison guards, there's the warden, and there's government, and there's, you know, the food is supplied, and if you get sick, medicine is there. So the demigods are representative of the Lord. but generally they're devotees. There's Aditi and Diti, and the Adityas are all generally demigods, and Daityas are the demonic, but also Prahlad Maharaj was born in a Daitya family and became a great devotee. Bali Maharaj, born in a Daitya family. So we're all, whoever's atheistic and against the Lord and doesn't want to hear about the Supreme, he's considered demonic or an atheist. But those who are actually recognizing that Kṛṣṇa or God is the Supreme Lord, and I am part and parcel, I am servant of the Lord, then he's very fortunate. That's the beginning, Shraddha, the faith. Somehow or other, the Vedic literature are there to set the society up in such a way that doesn't matter whether you're intellectually inclined, a Brahmana, like the head, or if you're like a king or a governor or somebody who's taking care of the administration, kshatriya, or if you're a mercantile man, businessman, taking care of agriculture, cows, the bulls. The bull is considered like the father, the cow's producing milk like the mother, the bull is tilling the fields, making grains. You think, well, I have my tractor. But even a couple hundred years ago, there was no tractors, there was no big factories, all machinery, nuts and bolts, and car tires and plastic, and all the things due to modern technology, looking for ways to make more comfortable or more happier. Why bother cleaning your teeth with a stick? I'll give you a brush that goes by itself and vibrates. I don't have to move my hand. It's all done for me. Everything's animated and automatic. But still, it doesn't solve any problems. The real problem is that we're going to die, isn't it? Just a matter of time. It says that mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham, that Kṛṣṇa comes in the form of death. And this is a wake-up. It's a reminder that we don't belong in this world. It's a place from the highest planet down to the lowest planet. We might, instead of eating off of a leaf plate, we might be eating off of a golden plate and drinking water from a golden cup. But the taste is the same. And we may think, well, but the sense gratification, if you're wealthy, then you can have, so much facilities. But it all just leads to suffering and misery because it's a temporary situation. It's just a mental adjustment that we have to awaken our spiritual senses because we can't understand Kṛṣṇa on the material platform. Atashi Kṛṣṇa namadi nabhavet gramendriyai seva mukhe jivadav swayameva spuratyada. It's like we have a glove over our hand, or even put a glove over your tongue and try to taste the prasad. You cannot taste it. Your senses are not activated. They're diminished. They're covered over. So our material senses are very limited, whereas we have spiritual senses, eternal senses, and also these fine qualities which are considered feminine, but fame. Who is famous? Devotee is famous, because in the material world, you might think about Napoleon, or even Hitler's famous, or in America, George Washington, the first president, or you might go back a few hundred years, but we're hearing about famous personalities, Narada Muni, and we're hearing about Arjuna and Kṛṣṇa, what to speak of Vyasadeva. We were hearing this morning about Uddhava and Maitreya and Vidura, and even there was a nice reading this morning about how Vidura Uddhava was younger in age, but he was very intimate associate of the Supreme Lord and highly elevated. But out of respect for Vidura, who was also a pure devotee and older in age, like his father, he led him to Maitreya. Maitreya Muni was a great sage, and out of etiquette and out of proper behavior, he didn't want to supersede or act against regulations and principles. So Kṛṣṇa, when he comes, he sets good example, generally. You know, as a householder in Dwarka, he acted according to the Vedic principles, rising early, performing puja, sacrifice, and very dutiful, performing the religious duties. But at the same time, he showed his power of lifting Govardhan Hill. He showed his power of marrying 16,000 queens and killing Putana and Trinavarta, protecting the inhabitants of Vrindavan from Kaliya serpent, devastating fire. So the Lord manifests his potencies, and those who are seers, they can see and understand Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is our source of life and everything. But those who are simply following the dictations of their mind and senses, they're going to be forced to grow old, get diseased, and die. So all these different qualities, fine speech and fame, what to speak of memory, intelligence, steadiness, all of us, when we read, you know, we're reading or hearing about the Lord, it's giving us ideas how we can come closer. To gain an attraction for hearing and chanting is not easy, because we've had so much indoctrination, life after life after life, in different bodies, in different forms. So to shed that covering and awaken our true transcendental divine qualities, it seems almost insurmountable, very, very difficult. But Kṛṣṇa understands that in this age in particular, Kali Yuga, it's powerful in all ages, but this holy name of the Lord is the essence of all teachings. That simply to hear about Kṛṣṇa's name, even if one is not philosophically inclined, we're hearing about Kṛṣṇa's greatness. We're hearing how Kṛṣṇa is revealing to Arjuna about how the different modes of nature are controlling. There are divine natures and demonic natures. But if one has faith, and if I tell, like if the parent tells the child that this fire will burn, if he understands that my parent is giving me the good advice that I should not put my hand in the fire, it will burn, then he's intelligent. So Kṛṣṇa is telling us that Kalir Dharma Kṛṣṇa Nam Sankirtan, Harinama, Harinama, Harinama Eva Kevalam. So it may seem like, well, yeah, chanting is nice, it's good, and philosophy is good, but I have so many duties. You know, it's not easy to sit and just chant the holy name. I have many aspirations in life that things I want to accomplish. So we have to balance ourselves. Like here at the very end, it's saying that there's steadfastness and patience. Intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. So we have to follow the instructions given to us by Srila Prabhupada and keep good association, because when we're in Vrindavan and we have the opportunity to see the beautiful deities, Kṛṣṇa is non-different in his deity form, and simply by following this routine of chanting and dancing, taking prasad with all the devotees, one can make very rapid advancement. Of course, there are many obstacles. There are many ways that we can be diverted from our mission of awakening our Kṛṣṇa consciousness. But the eagerness and enthusiasm for hearing about Kṛṣṇa has to be awakened, this utsahan. Because without this intense desire that I need to make my life perfect in this lifetime, then we're going to have many concerns and difficulties as far as how to move forward and how to awaken this love for Kṛṣṇa. Maybe we can have some questions. I can have some more ideas. You have a microphone for questions? Or you don't use the microphone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My question is, Kṛṣṇa says in this verse, mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś aham, bhaviṣyatām and kīrtiḥ shivasya nārīṇāṁ smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā. So, Kṛṣṇa in feministic characters, he's opulence. And when death comes, all is vain, all goes in vain, opulence, fame, beauty. So you said demigods are also in this material world, and in this material world is a jail. So Shivji is also in jail. Means there are many universes, and in every universe there are many Shivs, different kinds of Shivs. One is many-headed Shivs, many-headed Shivs. So they are also in jail, or they are mukta jeev, demigods, like Shivji are mukta jeevs, or they are also in jail.
So your question is, Shiva and others have opulences?
They have opulence, but they are also in jail, or they are liberated.
I'm not following.
Many universes are there behind, below Shivalok, below Brahma Jyoti. Many universes are there in Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So in every universe, many Shivas are there. Each and every universe has its own Shiv. So all that Shivas are liberated, or they are also in jail?
Well, there are unlimited universes, there are unlimited Brahmas, unlimited Shivas, and Kṛṣṇa says that he comes as Brahma, he also manifests Shiva, he manifests Indra, Chandra, all the demigods. Kṛṣṇa is manifesting everyone, just like in the government, the government appoints their responsible administrative heads. So in order to maintain this material world, Kṛṣṇa is producing unlimited. Lord Shiva has many responsibilities and forms, and obviously many opulences are there. But everything, all the material universes are just temporary, and everything in this world, although you may be very powerful demigod and have great opulences and great powers, ultimately life is finished, even for Lord Brahma, what to speak of even Lord Shiva. In understanding the intricacies of that, Shiva is in one sense non-different than Kṛṣṇa, just like milk turned into yogurt, although milk and yogurt are one, but they're different. So the Lord manifests himself as Lord Shiva in this material world as the father of mankind and the husband of Durga, who is in charge of the whole material world as well. So the mother and father, they're taking care of the prison house, and they're offering various opulences in higher planets, longer lifetimes, and there are various reactions for those who disobey the laws of the prison house, and so they're degraded, just like if a prisoner is acting foolishly and is causing disturbance, he's put into solitary confinement. And then there are those prisoners who are well behaved, so they're given freedoms to maybe, be in the library or be gardeners at the prison park. So we may be given all kinds of facilities and opulences, but ultimately this is not our home. If you take a fish out of the water and you put him on the land, you can give him nice sunglasses, a nice umbrella, you can offer so many things. You can give him offer a feast, but the fish out of water is never happy. So ultimately, all the demigods are servants of the Lord, and they have a function and a purpose, and their purpose is to maintain this universe according to the laws and order of Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is the supreme lawmaker. And human life is an opportunity to get out of this material world and experience real opulence and real happiness eternally. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
as written in Brahma Samhita, Mahesh Dham, which is Shivji Dham, is just in Golok Dham, below the Kṛṣṇa Dham. So actually he is in spiritual world also, Shiva. Just to add this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Devana?
So here it is mentioned that mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham, it applies to a non-devotee or devotee equally. How to understand?
What was that?
Here the phrase mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham,
Right.
it applies equally to devotee and non-devotee or only to non-devotees. The first line, mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham,
Right.
it applies for non-devotees, it is applicable for non-devotees or devotees and non-devotees?
Yeah, he's referring to those embodied beings who are in this world, because there's no birth or there's no birth or death for the eternal spirit soul. We existed in the past, we exist now, we continue to exist in the future. But as we're embodied, different bodies, then that death comes for the bewildered spirit soul who's identifying with the body. Whether the body is a human body, a demigod body, an animal body, Kṛṣṇa's death for that living being who's bewildered by his engagement. So the whole idea of human life is to awaken our eternal life and recognize that we're really not meant to be embodied and limited by the cycle of birth and death in this world. And Kṛṣṇa says, I am that death, because also at birth too, Kṛṣṇa's providing us through Mother Nature. Maya jakshena prakriti suyate sachara. Mother Nature is providing the mother and father and all the various ingredients to make this physical form. And then all the reactions and all the, attributes of whether one has good intelligence or good birth, or, is able to function in this world in a particular way. If they misuse that, like I was reading how George Harrison, when he was being asked, and Prabhupada said that, he's a good boy, that he's famous. As a Beatle, he was very famous. He had wealth. He had so much already accomplished that people strive their whole lives for it, to either be famous or to become loved. So many people are fans of George. To have money, he's got money. And many opulences are there. So he was looking for something beyond what everyone else is striving for. Everyone's going to school and working hard and having businesses and just trying to get as much money as they can because they think this is the real goal of life, the real happiness. So this is that death is referring to the embodied soul. So why is it that in this world, even though we're hearing that we have to take our life very seriously and we have to give up our bad habits, like a doctor, a patient goes to a doctor and the doctor said, look, you're sick and you've got to stop taking this and that. And when we're really sick, then we think, yes, I'll be very strict. I'll never again eat another pizza or another full cheesecake. I just won't do it because my body can't. But then once we start feeling a little bit better and good, and then we forget all about, okay, it's all right. That cheesecake is just too good. We've been servants of the senses and servants of the mind for a long, long time. And when the atmosphere is, the sun is shining and the birds are chirping, we think, life's okay. Why get too fanatical? Or like the one doctor when Prabhupada in New York became very, very ill, they called several doctors, and one doctor says, I think the old man is praying too much. He's praying too much. So this is a basic concept in this material world that we get a self-assurance about ourselves and our own ability, and that it's not really that important, this, whether I'm a Christian or a Hindu or a Jew. They think religion is just some kind of, I have to be a party spirit, I'm part of this group, but it doesn't really have a meaning for them to really pursue it with all eagerness and enthusiasm. So Prabhupada, by the power of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he performed a miracle of bringing this Vedic literature in a time, place, and circumstance where he could not only create happies from hippies or create persons, awaken people's desire to have Kṛṣṇa. And the pure devotee is non-different than the Supreme Lord. And to be inspired and to feel that kind of, like, this is my real Father, my eternal Father, and He's guiding me out of this material world with gratitude. This is something very special. And it's happening. Lord Chaitanya's mission is spreading. We can see so many people are coming. They're getting the mercy of seeing the deities in Vrindavan Dham, taking prasadam. 20,000 plates of prasad every day or cups of prasadam are going out. And people are hearing the holy name. What to speak of the devotees who are assisting this mission of Srila Prabhupada to spread Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Is so important, very vital that we put our full enthusiasm and little lifespan we have left. I was like 19 years old, going to be 68, so the time goes by. And I would have got 10 years, 10, 15 years, maybe, you could slip on the banana peel and break your neck just outside the door here in case there's a banana peel. You never know. But we could die at any moment. So it's like Krishna's sent Prabhupada to awaken us, so we should stay awake in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, have good habits. Be determined that I have to follow this carefully. I have to come and see follow the order of the spiritual master. I have to hear about Kṛṣṇa daily. I have to chant the holy name, even though sometimes we may think we have better things to do. But somehow all of you are here. It's a Gita class and Bhagavatam class in the morning, and all day long we have opportunity for hearing and chanting. So we work on that. By working on that, then for a devotee to leave this world, it becomes different. Just like we heard from others. I was there when Kadambakana Maharaj, he prepared. He called me in Florida and said, look, I got all these tumors, so I'm going to Vrindavan and just finish my business in Vrindavan. So, not only him, but many others. Prabhupada also came here and showed us that this is the perfection. To the last moment, he's speaking Bhagavatam. And even, like I said, Kadambakana Maharaj, just, you could see he was focused, surrounded by devotees, surrounded by the holy name, and then he left this world in a very glorious way. So it may think, well, only a few people, but what about the thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people who are dying, in a very lonely situation with nobody really caring for them? And there's a picture showing all the sons and relatives who are in the inheritance, just waiting for the guy to pass away so they can get on with their lives. If it wasn't for devotees and devotional service, people die a very lonely and a very fearful death. Some just die in their sleep, but the Yamaloka is not far away from this earth. So those who are sinful, Yamaraj, the Yamadutas, take them for punishment and judgment. So it's not over when the body is finished. It's just like, okay, the clothes are finished, time to throw them for wash. Okay, get rid of them, get a new set of clothes. So we're going to get another set of clothes. But this particular embodiment that we have, this human form of life, is a gift, a great gift. And Kṛṣṇa, he's came in the form of Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada's followers in the books of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So we should take advantage of this Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement and try our level best. But when we hear the prayers of like Krishnadas Kaviraj, that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, a blind man can see the stars in the sky, a lame man can cross the mountains, even go to Himalayas. Even though you're lame, you still can go there. And because otherwise we're in the middle of an ocean full of vicious animals, sharks and timagilla fish and those Portuguese man-o-war that sting you. So there's so many philosophies, so many books, so many people. Why there's so many acharyas? Why you have to follow one acharya? But without that, fidelity, or without that, love and trust, that feeling of devotion, Prabhupada's our spiritual master for everybody. And Prabhupada's teachings are the guiding light for everyone. And Prabhupada's representing the Guru Parampara and Kṛṣṇa. So we can feel reassured that simply by following Krishna's Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar Devotion, Kṛṣṇa book, these literatures, they're in harmony. But if we want to be overly intelligent, I got so many other books, I want to hear the Goswamis, the translations. Not we're putting anything down, but Prabhupada took all that and put it together in such a way that's easily understandable and digestible for us. And then he made a society that we can all live together and help one another in our own spiritual advancement. So this is the advantage of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, that we have the essence of all knowledge. We have a great opportunity to get free of this repeated birth and death. Okay. Thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.